so they should be starting here soon. What do you got on this matchup?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you could ask for a better competition than this. So realistically, if this could in the end be a finals caliber matchup, it just happened to work out that the bracket landed the way it did. So you have Jessie Warren, who's the national champion out of Florida State. She led MVP points, led offensive points in Athletes Unlimited on the offensive side of things. And then you got Amanda Chidester, who's just a powerhouse for Team USA. She was 2019 MPF Offensive Player of the Year. So you just got two absolute studs going head to head here. I think we're going to see a battle.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup. So Jessie she did this in the qualifier from what I understand. She likes to hit the ball oppo. So she started with the triple off the wall to right field. And you can see her video there. It looks like Chitty's having a little bit of the internet connection isn't incredible there, so it might be a little bit glitchy, but Chitty hits one out to right field. So, all right, we're off. Let's go. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a matchup, I'm telling you. And it already looks like Jessie Warren, 2 for 2. She's found her groove. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to see how these two players compete against each other all the way through the end of this thing.
The last hit Jessie just had was 85.9 miles an hour, which I do believe I think that was harder than any hit in the first game. So that's probably the hardest hit so far in this bracket play.
Yeah, she can square up the ball. And to your point, I think Jessie does a good job of driving the gaps. She's right center field. She likes the ball up in the zone, but looks like unfortunate 4-pitch out there for Jessie for her first out of the game. I don't know. I've gotten some feedback sometimes that the pitch machines are all over the place, a little bit harder to time up. No doubt she'll come back here with some kind of big barrel because that's just the ball player she is, right on cue. Look at that home run over right center field. 79 miles an hour, 24 degrees off the bat. That's 250 feet foot bomb. Let's go, Jessie. That's awesome.
So Chitty had I believe was the highest exit velocity of the qualifier. She had a max exit velo of 89.6 an hour, which is ridiculous. And on top of that, she averaged 72.6 miles an hour on all of her hits. So I would expect, and there you go, she had a 75 mile an hour home run, 257 feet, 4-3 matchups. First, it's going to be good. So I'm expecting to see, I don't know if it's going to be early here. Maybe she needs a few rounds to get loose, but I've got my money on Chitty hitting 90 miles an hour. She just put one 86.9.
It's crazy. I mean, the amount of power that both of these athletes have, it's wild to see one player barrel up at 89, but in the first inning, they're going back to back 89 miles an hour off the bat. That's crazy. But wow, right on cue, the matchup we predicted, we got 6-4 in the first inning. This is, I think we're in for it, Andrew.
Yeah, 6-4, 2 outs for Jessie. So she is going to have to fight a little bit here. And, looks like she just got a foul. Okay, that was a foul ball. That's all right. That was a foul ball, so just a strike. And Chitty also has 2 outs herself, 2 pitches through this at-bat. And we saw last game, I mean, both these players they're taking a lot of swings already as Jessie ties it up 6-6 with an opposite field bomb, which I think will be a theme that you'll see throughout her rounds. She really has a lot of power to the opposite field. With a leaping catch.
Look at that.
Leaping catch by that center fielder. That was quite a grab.
Hard to follow Chitty's action down there. I think you're right about the Wi-Fi connection. Looks like it's a little bit on a delay, but just both of their swings too. They're both pretty compact. I think they're pretty efficient with their barrels and just delivering the barrel of the ball. It's pretty incredible how consistently they're barreling out this softball.
And there you go, 89 miles an hour at 26 degrees.
I think that's by far the farthest hit we've seen so far. 326 feet that ball went. That is crazy.
That puts it to 9-6 in the first inning. Holy smokes! And there's a line drive up the middle for a little base hit. So one of the things I was saying that we saw in the first matchup between with Emily Benson is that she got out to a very early lead, and it appeared at the end of the game that fatigue was kicking in because these players, they're taking a lot of swings, right? They're, like we said before, they're not swapping out. They're taking every single hack here. And we saw in the last round, Emily started to lose it just a little bit. She ended up picking it up and coming away with the W. But I think both of these players are going to get plenty of swings in, plenty of runs. So we'll see what happens throughout the course of the game. And it's hard to tell what happened, but looks like Chitty runner on third with 2 outs. Another base knock up the middle. She's a consistent hitter.
Consistent. You know, it's funny. I was one of the points they both made. I was talking to them a little bit before. So they're both coming off of seasons at Athletes Unlimited, and just asking them, you know, what their favorite part of the experience was, or if there's anybody in particular that impacted them. And both of their answers were, you know, they just enjoyed how competitive the environment was there. Chitty pointed out that everybody just there were no wasted at bats in that league. That everybody stepped into the box ready to compete and trying to make the most of every situation. So, you know, if you're looking at the screen right now, if you're looking at this game, what you're seeing in the bottom right, the way the format is for the bracket, if you make 3 outs, right, you can't advance until that next inning, the other person finishes their inning. So what I'm getting at here is I'm thinking that whenever Jessie has an opportunity to step back in this box, she's going to do some damage. I think she's just going to get in here and compete. So we're heading into the second inning. I'm excited to see Jessie. I wouldn't be surprised to see her put up an equivalent amount of runs with these next few at-bats.
14 runs through the first inning for Amanda Chidester. That's incredible. Jessie Warren had herself a great first inning also with 6 runs, but I do not think that she would imagine herself down 8 after that kind of an inning. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here, but that's an impressive first inning from Amanda Chidester. And there's an opposite field bomb.
Talk about a competitor. That's awesome.
She really likes to put the ball the opposite field quite a bit.
So this is a great story about Jessie Warren. So Jessie Warren, in Athletes Unlimited, for those who are familiar with the league, the top performers of each week then redraft the next week's team. So Jessie Warren was captain several weeks in a row. And so when you're captain, you're not only tasked with selecting your team or drafting your team, but you're also tasked with making all the calls in the game. You schedule the practices. You kind of run the show. Jessie Warren was 13-1 as a captain. And I was actually talking to Chitty about it a little bit, and she said that Jessie Warren is a doer. She just absolutely, whenever she's on the field, she gets the job done. She finds a way to compete. She finds a way to elevate everybody else around her. So I think it's just really fun now, kind of knowing that insight about her. I can't help but look in that box and see her just absolutely doing it, you know, and that's all that keeps running through my head is Jessie Warren is the doer.
Yeah, so she's got 1 run in through with no out so far, runner on second, and Chitty she started out with a single, and she follows it up with an opposite field bomb to right field, 75 miles an hour. So just another day in the park for Chitty.
Yeah, about that. She is dialed in 90 miles an hour up the bat. That was 284 feet. Chitty, relax. Save a little bit, huh? Come on, second inning. She is going crazy. That's awesome.
And 87 miles an hour, 18 degrees for Jessie.
That is awesome. What a matchup. Where do you, Andrew, where do you have this final score landing?
My goodness. I really think with the amount of swings that these players are taking, I really think by the 4th or 5th inning that they're going to have some fatigue hit in. I think you'll see a curve that there's no way they can keep up this pace. I mean, I sure hope they do, but I would bet we're probably looking at 35-30 is my final score. We'll see. Over under 70 runs. Make your bets. We'll see what happens there. Chitty goes yard again. 80 miles an hour, 30 degrees. I mean, she might blow that out of the water. She's already at 19 runs with no outs in the second inning.
Second
Jesse
inning.
Warren, very respectively, is at 9 runs through the second inning, and Chitty is the number 6 seed here, and Jesse is the number 11 seed, I believe. So if you look at the qualifier, Chitty put up 58 runs through 3 games to get in at the number 6 spot. And Jesse put up 40 runs through 3 games to get the number 11 spot. So you're talking, what is that, approximately a differential of 5-6 runs a game, Chitty to Jesse, but Chitty is absolutely blowing that out of the water right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's looking like Jesse's having a little bit of trouble with that pitching machine there. Kind of seeing her face, a lot of balls look like they're outside of the zone, off the plate. I wonder if they make some adjustments as we go through the game here. Just knowing Jessie Warren as a hitter, also, and her her ability to just, I keep coming back to it, but to compete and find a way to get it done. She did her whole career at Florida State. I think we'll see her probably make some adjustments here in these next few innings to make sure that she's able to barrel up a little bit more consistently.
Well, it's just an incredible view of the video from Jesse's side, and Chitty goes 87 miles an hour for a bomb on the left side of your screen. But if you look at the video on Jessie, like, you can see her swing very, very clearly. That is just a nice compact swing, and you can see the balance that she has when she finishes. Mm-hmm. Her weight is very well distributed. Just like that, even on a foul ball, just like that, she's just very over the center of her body, not putting too much out over the front of her body, keeping her weight back. And there's a little pop-up. That's going to be a foul ball. That's a bummer. That will happen. They have to deal with that occasionally. They know that coming in. But Jesse's got 1 out. Chitty's got 2. But again, I mean, I'm impressed with that swing that Jessie has right there. That's a good-looking hack.
Yeah, and Jessie's right up there, I think, with the all-time home run leaders out of Florida State, if not the top. I can't remember exactly what the statistic is, but she's just got such a smooth delivery of that barrel. To your point, she packs a punch. I think Jessie stands at 5'5", maybe 5'6". So how strong she is and the efficiency she has in her swing to just create that power is pretty remarkable.
And there you go. Chitty's got 3 outs. So Jessie, with runners on first and third, with only 1 out, she's got a chance to make a little bit of a push here and cut in to that 8-run lead that Chitty built up. And there's an Oppo Taco.
That might do it.
84 miles an hour at 19 degrees. I have not seen a player go opposite field as much as her. That's an impressive shot. High velo to all parts of the field.
Yeah, those aren't duck farts to the right side of the field either. Those are missiles. I mean, the fact that she's hitting the ball 85, 86 miles an hour to the right side of the field, the same way that she's got that pull power. All I know is I'm glad I don't have to pitch to her ever.
Yeah. So what we have here, if you guys haven't seen this style before, both of these athletes are hitting off a pitching machine. They have a minimum pitch speed requirement of 55 miles an hour. Registered from HitTrax at the plate. And that pitch is coming in pretty hot. You see Jessie's, the pitch speed is a little bit higher. It's almost 60 miles an hour on every single pitch even. So she's really turned up the gas.
Hard in, hard out.
She's hard in, hard out. She's putting a little streak together here. Runners on first and second. Only 1 out. There's a foul ball, strike 1, and you mentioned it earlier, but these players each have 4 pitches per at-bat, so there's no strikeouts or walks, but if they do not put a ball in play or they do not hit an opposite field home run at 85 miles an hour like that,
Jesse,
within 4 pitches, they're out. 20-19, just like that. Holy smokes. You look right up at the screen and the score changes very, very quickly.
So you mentioned something about, just the importance of fitness, and endurance in this kind of competition where you're not switching, like you said, you're not switching in and out of this cage. You're having to take your best hack on every swing, make every at-bat count. But, we do follow Chitty pretty closely. She's ambassador for HitTrax. And if you know anything about Chitty, you know how much she dedicates herself to her fitness, making sure that her body is ready to compete. So I'm curious to see just how the data reflects that here when by the time we get to the sixth, if she's able to maintain those 89, 87s off the bat. I think that's going to be really interesting, but it doesn't look like Jessie Warren's slowing down to me at all.
No, you saw a little bit of frustration out of her. She just lined a ball to first base on a couple hits ago, and you can see her kind of screaming the camera there. But I talked about the fatigue factor earlier. I really think looking at Jessie's swing, it seems so smooth and efficient that I see what she's doing right now as something sustainable. Chitty, I wish we could see the video of her, but I know she really puts a lot of force in the swing. And like you said, she is absolutely a master at HitTrax, and she drops bombs. But that will be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Working and Jessie's she's squeezing her hand a little bit. I don't know if she's getting, maybe like you said, she's getting jammed by the pitching machine on a few of these.
I don't know.
But she's very quickly taking the lead, 21-20, base knock up the middle, and we're only in the second inning. She's actually in some pain there, isn't she?
Yeah, it looks like it. Hope she's all right.
That hit was only 66 miles an hour. I bet she got jammed on that hit.
I wonder if she's getting a little feedback on the bat, a little barrel vibration or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would think. Even that hit right there was 71 miles an hour up the middle at -6 degrees, not even close to what she was doing before. She seemed to be 74 at 1. She's compensating, or the machine is jamming her or something.
Something's going on. All
right, so that's the end of the second, rolling into the third inning.
I think, it's something to point out too, what's good about this format here in the bracket round is it's not timed. So, this will give Jessie an opportunity to kind of take a break, maybe get some water if she wants it. But hopefully she can shake out that, looks like her top hand that's bothering her and get back in her groove. But I think I'm excited to see what Chitty does to get in here and compete. We were talking a little bit about, just the experience factor between these two players earlier on, and Chitty's been to the World Series. You have Jessie, who won a World Series championship. You got Chitty, who's playing for Team USA. Both of them competed the heck out of Athletes Unlimited. So I'm excited to see how all that veteran experience comes to play here as we get towards the end. I think we're going to see a tight score. We're already at 22-20, so I think it's going to come down to that one big hit.
I mean, if you look at it, we just had identical triples there, both 72, 73 miles an hour. Chitty puts another one 63 miles an hour in the gap. This is going to be relentless. I think my score is way off. I think they might get up to 50 runs.
Easily. Yeah, no doubt. Again, it's kind of too bad we can't see these two in a best-of-3 matchup because right now it's anybody's game. I don't think the winner of this is going to define the better hitter. Again, I think it's just going to come down to one or two big hits here and there, but they're pretty equally matched, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, I think it was Jessie was the one that had 2020 points in Athletes Unlimited. Is that right? She like you said, she was the top offensive player. Chitty, I think she performed very, very well and really had some good runs. I think she wishes she might have done a little better herself, but we've seen, you talked about her resume and the thing that she's put together throughout her career. Neither one of these players are going away. Both, Chitty with runners on first and third, 1 out. Jessie's got a runner on third with nobody out. This is not going to slow down.
Yeah, and if you look at Chitty's performance over the course of Athletes Unlimited, she really caught her stride there at the end. I think her production on that last weekend, I think she had 2 or 3 MVP games, and really just found her rhythm, her tempo, kind of solidified her approach. And we were talking about it recently, and just how she had kind of gotten away from her doubles approach, gap to gap power. She was kind of a little bit at the beginning trying to find her tempo and try not to get too big, but in the same way, she felt like she was taking the bat out of her own hands. So I think we're actually seeing the best version of Amanda Chidester, coming off that hot weekend that we have in a little while, maybe even since her 2019 performance in the NPF.
I love it. We may have had a bat switch from Jessie. Also, she appears to have switched bats, so maybe there was a crack in the bat or something was going on, and
Yeah.
she was, like you said, getting that reverberation.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see. She grounds out to second base, 65 miles an hour. You can see the frustration. She's not happy about that hit.
So Jessie Warren, if you've watched her play too, she's a player that just wears her heart on her sleeve. So I was watching, sometimes wake up in the morning and watch this clip just to start my day to tell myself I can do anything. But Andrew, I don't know if you've seen that play she made against University of Washington. It's bottom seventh in the World Series as runner on first base. Jessie Warren at 5'5", I don't know, I don't want to sell her short, maybe 5'6", leaps. There's a bunt, goes up in the air. She leaps 10 feet. She gets that, catches it on the fly, maybe about an inch before it hits the ground, throws over to the first base to double up the runner. And anytime I think of that play, I just get fired up. I think Jessie Warren could probably do just about anything. And when she got up from that play, and just the emotion on her face and all of it, it's just kind of reminds me of that a little bit, just how engaging she is to watch as a ball player.
Yeah, I'm really interested in watching what's going on right there. She's got 3 outs. Chitty's going on a little bit of a run here, also 88 miles an hour in the gap for a double. So she's sitting at 27 runs. And as you're watching her just pump the ball in the gaps, that one might get down. Oh, there's a leaping grab.
No, sir.
Kind of like the bunt you just mentioned. But Jessie, if you watched her at the end of that inning, was pretty frustrated as we head into the 4th inning here. You could see her kind of throw the bat to the side after a 60-mile-an-hour ground ball to second base. And I think she changed bats even again. So I'm very curious to see, and I would love to talk to her after to see kind of what was happening there. She is letting the ball get extremely, extremely deep right now in the swing.
She's trying to drive that right center gap.
So there's a second pitch of the at-bat. Start of the 4th inning here, 27-23 Chitty.
There you go.
Again, the winner moves on. There you go. Opposite field home run for
Wham,
Jessie.
bam, thank you, ma'am.
And Chitty follows it up. These players have already gotten they've made this qualifier out of a group of about 35 athletes. They were in the top 16. So they've already made $250 off this tournament. The winner of this matchup is actually going to get $250 additionally. So they're playing for $500 with the chance to ultimately go on as the bracket continues in the semifinals and the finals, with the winner walking home with $10,000. Wow, she just swung out of her shoes there. Do you see that?
I did. And to your point, there's a lot on the line. I think we're seeing this. You don't want to give away those at bats, and it does look like Jessie's really struggling with that top hand, which is too bad, especially with her power, the power that she has to that right center field, that right field gap. Without a strong top hand, it's going to be really hard to be able to barrel up to the opposite direction. So I kind of hope, I wish you could hear us, kind of hope she takes a minute there and just gathers herself and kind of stretches it out, not feel rushed, but maybe she's just going to compete her way through it.
Yeah, so she's got 2 outs, nobody on. That's the same with Chitty. Chitty hits a home run to center field, 73 miles an hour, 33 degrees. So she's got a 6-run lead here. This is probably the best that we've seen her, and we haven't seen too much of Jessie on HitTrax, but competing head to head, even with that hand rolling through, she puts up a triple on the board there. Yeah, I agree with you. I really hope that hand is not affecting too much. We're dialed up for a great last few innings here. We've already got 64 runs scored. So if you took the over on my 70, I think you're probably sitting pretty good right now.
Well, I'll make note too of Emily Benson, Brittany Cervantes game earlier this morning. They had about 40 at bats each. So we still have 2 innings to go, and both players are right sitting at about 40 at bats, 43 at bats. So they're not getting cheated, that's for sure.
No, they are not. They're not getting cheated at all. 81 miles an hour over the center fielder's head for a double. That makes it 31-25. And I believe the score of the first game, the final score, was around 22-14 or 23-14. And there's a 50-mile-an-hour flare to right field. That's not going to do it. That's the third out for Jesse. And you can see her drop the bat there, working on the batting gloves, trying to get things dialed in. We'll see what happens as Chitty hits an 85-mile-an-hour bomb to center to make it 33-25.
That's what I'm saying about Chitty. I mean, you look at that exit velocity, right? 86 miles an hour up the bat. She's 45 at bats in. That's 45 great hacks that she's taken on. It's just unbelievable that she still has the ability to barrel up and consistently hit the ball as hard as she is. And I think that's, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. The amount that she dedicates herself to her fitness is nuts. You got your 90,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you got your
90.8 miles an hour.
For an
Holy smokes.
Who's playing shortstop out there? Is that Hannah Flippin? We got Jeter. Who's out there? Who's catching that? Anissa Urtes?
Whoever it is, their glove is broken. That ball went through the seams, and they caught it as they hit the ground with their bare hand. 91 miles an hour at 5 degrees. That's the hardest hit we've seen so far in the tournament. That is incredible.
Wow.
And that is not typical for fast pitch. Again, you've, Elena, as kind of as the commissioner of this league, have put together an extremely talented field here. These are some of the best players really in the entire world.
Yeah, well, and you got to give
right.
You got to give softball players credit in general. They people want to compete. And these athletes are so top notch and so ready to jump on board and have any opportunity to just let their play speak for themselves. So I think the opportunity to put on this tournament and the idea stemming behind giving the athletes something to be excited for and to train for. When we were sitting, when did we have the idea, Andrew? In May, maybe, to start putting together this tournament and to see what it's come to, where you have people competed out of Utah and Florida this morning, Kentucky and Washington, and just giving these players an opportunity to show what they've got. It's awesome to see them show up the way they are.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you said it well. You really have to tip your hat to the whole softball community, because they really, word spread very quickly throughout the players about this, and everybody was just so gung ho to jump on board. And it's really great the people that you have collected to join in this, and this matchup is a good summation of that, with two of the top players in the country going at it. And Chitty's starting to run away with it as we've been going. She now very quickly has worked herself up to a 13-run lead, 39-26. Jesse puts an 81-mile-an-hour double to center field. Is that hit going to do it for Chitty?
No, sir.
Okay. Again, that's only
I gotta
say,
you can't give Jessie Warren 5 outs to work with, though, either. I think she's, now 4, but I think we're going to see her do some damage in this last little go at it. I hope her hand hangs in there for her, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her close this gap a little bit. Do you think it's surmountable, Andrew? I'll put you on the spot.
13. Well, as you put me on the spot, she grounded out to second base to end the inning. So 13 runs through 2 innings. Wow. So 13 runs through 4 through 2 remaining innings of the fifth and sixth. That's going to be tough, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. It looks like Jesse's taking a little bit of a breather as well, so we'll see what happens as we start into the 5th inning. I don't know. To be honest with you, if she's going to make a comeback here, then she's going to have to at least cut this lead in half. So I think you have to look for a 6 or 7 run lead going into the 6th inning. And that's going to be tough to do with Chitty putting up another triple to right field, and there's a double to center. I think Jesse's going to have to put up 25 runs here to have a chance to through the last 2 innings.
Yeah, and to your point, it doesn't really look like Chitty's slowing down too much. Look at her go. 259 feet, 78 miles an hour off the bat. Just an absolute powerhouse.
85 miles an hour to center field at a 17-degree launch angle. So Jessie seems to be flipping through bats there. I think she just texted me and said that her bats may be broken. We will see if she has something usable there. I think she's trying to source a bat or figure out which one of those is best to use. But that is a pretty big factor if she's not able to use the bats that she wants to use.
Yeah, I wonder if she has another one available.
So, all right. So, little insider info here in terms of what's happening. She says that she doesn't have another bat to use. She's going to keep using the broken ones, and she also said that Chitty is mashing. So, yes, we can confirm Chitty is in fact mashing.
Yeah, Jessie, you got to give credit where credit is due, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's and Jessie, we give you credit as well to stepping up and not making any excuses, stepping up with a bat that might be a little unfunctional. Still, her last hit was 74.5 miles an hour, which is hard enough to do with a bat that is working properly.
Mm-hmm.
So Chitty is up to 45 runs, still with 2 outs remaining in the 5th inning. Jessie's at 26, which if Jessie were playing in our earlier game, would have been more than enough to move on. It's going to be tough to come back here, especially with some busted bats.
With no functional bat. Yeah.
That's really a bummer. She had to have been using those bats that were at least broken somewhat when she was shaking her hand. That definitely causes some vibration.
Yeah, and I think we saw that right through the start when she was barreling up. She started at 89 miles an hour to right center field. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then little by little, we're starting to see it go down and go down. And I think by her last few at bats, we were only seeing it at 65, 70, which is pretty crazy that we're saying it's only 70 miles an hour to right center field. But, comparing to what she's capable of doing, you can tell that between the bat and the top hand, I think it's been tough for her to overcome.
Yep. So she, as you can see, she's just got to sit there and wait now. As soon as both players end the 5th inning, that's when we'll advance to the last inning. And right now, Chitty has nobody on, 2 outs, sitting at 47 runs into her second pitch of this at-bat. So she's got one more out to work with, maybe to get some insurance runs if she needs it. And there you go. There's a little line out to second base for the 3rd out. So that is the end of the 5th. And we're going into the last inning of this matchup, the 6th inning here. So now the format here, the players are going to go hit for hit. So Jessie, as she is down in this matchup, she's going to hit first. She's going to take an at-bat. And as soon as she puts a ball in play, then Amanda will step up and take a hit, and we're going to go back and forth to have a little bit of a battle here.
I like it. Maybe, that's a tough start.
Again, you got to wonder, 27 miles an hour at negative 24 degrees, that's you got to think something's up with the bat. We didn't see that from her all game.
Yeah, we haven't seen that from her whole career. I mean, Jessie Warren is an absolute monster in the box. You got to know that bat is probably playing a significant factor. Anybody in Tampa, Florida that could run a bat to Eline Sports?
Yes, please. We need Marucci to step up. Where are you at, Marucci?
Yeah, exactly.
So again, this is the HitTrax Open tournament. This is a professional fast pitch tournament. The winner of this is taking home $10,000, and they're making money all along the way. These athletes, both Amanda Chidester and Jessie Warren, have taken home $250 already, and the winner of this matchup is going to get another $250, and then we'll be playing for even more money in the second round and the semifinals, which the semifinals and the finals will come up down to 3-game series. So again, like you said, it would be very interesting to see these two in a 3-game matchup, because I think they would just put on an absolute show each time out.
Well, and I think the score right now, doesn't reflect this game. If you look at the first 3 innings of this game compared to the last 3 innings, I think through the third, we were at 29, 27 or something like that. It was absolutely back and forth. It's just 2 absolute monsters in the box who've shown up and compete. You got to give Jessie credit for staying in there and wrapping up her at bats, even though she's struggling with the barrel there. It's too bad.
Yeah. The fatigue factor really didn't kick in here. I think maybe it would have, but we saw really just the bats come in and play. Chitty working. It sounds like from my intel that Chitty may have also busted a bat herself. Maybe had a couple extra ones on reserve. But yeah, she really didn't slow down. She put up 20 runs in the first 2 innings, 17 in the next 3, and here we are in the 6th inning. She's got 1 out. And again, she's up. She's going to take a hack, and as soon as she puts the ball in play, then it'll come up to Jessie. And there's a home run to center field once again.
I think Chitty has hit more home runs in this game than I did my entire career. She is unconscious right now. She is just absolutely tearing it up.
And I wouldn't say.
Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to point out how cool it is if you look at Eline's cage right now, and you got the young guns in there getting their lessons in. Eline's a softball exclusive facility. So for them to have an opportunity to compete right next to Jessie Warren, and I'm sure it's probably similar at the DBAT, you just can't see it in the image. You got to think, how cool is that for those players in that other cage to see what Jessie's doing,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to respect what she's done to get into the top 16. Looks like my stream just cut out. Do you see that?
Yeah, it looks like Jessie's got runners on first and second. She puts one out. Maybe we got a little life. Jessie, let's go.
3-run homer.
A 3-run homer. Look at you, Jessie. Right on cue, center field. The compete factor may be coming in. Jessie's like, give me a broken bat. I'll still compete.
88 miles an hour.
So Jessie's still working with no outs here. She's got no outs on the board. We're in the last inning. It's a 6-inning matchup here, so it's not your typical 7-inning game. So we'll see what she can do with these 3 outs to close this gap. But again, it's going to take Chitty slowing down, which we haven't really seen too many signs of.
No, and looking forward, again, we'll see what.
Does that carry? 75 at 51. Oh, at the wall.
Not quite, but looking ahead, if provided a miracle comes through here, Chitty will potentially be moving on to face the winner of Ali Aguilar and Amber Schisler in the quarterfinal matchups. Those are the 4 and the 13 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that matchup will be, I believe, the winner of that will be taking home $1,000. So quite a bit of money on the line here. Chitty's got 2 outs. Sorry, I just got the stream back up. I lost it for a little bit there. Second out for Jessie to right field.
Jessie, yeah, that's a loud out. But to your point, every round these players advance a little bit more is on the line. So just making the top 16 is a $250 check. You advance the next round, it's a $500 check, and then it's going to make the jump to $1,000. So if you're talking about a Amanda Chidester, Ali Aguilar matchup, there's still a lot of things that are going to happen before then. But those are Team USA teammates. So that would be pretty cool, to see. I think Allie's competing out of California, and then you obviously have Chitty here in Utah. That might be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, there's going to be some big time showdowns coming down to the later part of the bracket. There you go.
Okay,
right there,
Jesse.
another opposite field homer. 82 miles an hour at 38 degrees. So you can see her pumping her chest.
What a character! Let's go. 287 feet. That's a tank.
And there's the third out for Chitty. So Jesse, 19 runs with 1 out. It's going to be tough to do. We'll see if she can put on a show for us and start hitting that opposite field gap like we saw in the first inning where she put up the first 2 innings where she put up 20 total runs. Fouls off the first pitch.
Nothing's impossible.
No, but I would take a bet with you right now if you wanted to put your money on Jesse.
I got to say, I don't think that's going to be the best bet for me to make.
Okay.
But I appreciate the offer. And
there it is. 52 miles an hour, negative 34 degrees for the last out. That's the game. See Jesse putting up her arms. Unbelievable effort by both players. Jesse, great job grinding through that with the bats and the hand issue. I'm sure you were getting some reverberations. Unbelievable performance, 30 runs. But you got to look at Amanda Chidester, 49 runs through 6 innings. I did not even see that coming. Did you?
Andrew, I don't think she missed a ball. I think she barreled every single ball, every single swing that she took. I mean, that was a lights out performance out of Chitty. I'm not sure what Jesse could have done to slow her down today, but what a heck of a matchup. I mean, 2 great competitors absolutely going at it. And I wish this was a 3-game series. And I wish Jesse had 6 more bats.
Yes, absolutely. For reference, Chitty put up 58 runs through her 3 games for the qualifier. So she almost got all of the runs that she got in the qualifier here in this round with 49 runs through 1 game. That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Okay, so again, this is the HitTrax Open presented by Lizard Skins and Marucci. Thank you all for joining. What do we got? When's the next matchup?
We should have Lisa and Hannah Flippin coming up shortly here. Hannah is also going to be competing out of the same DBAT that Chitty is, so they got probably some good juju going on over there. And then against Lisa, who plays on Team USA, she's competing out of Belafonte Sports. So that should be the next one on deck. Stay tuned, everybody.
I like it. Thanks, Elena. We will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. Bye.
Bye.